The IBF have formally ordered a light heavyweight final eliminator between Joshua Buatsi and Jean Pascal. So if we have a look at the IBF rankings here at 175, obviously Artur Beterbiev is their champion, but the number 1 and number 2 positions are vacant in their top 15. Number 3 is Joshua Buatsi, so he is eligible to fight in this final eliminator against the next highest ranked available contender. So if we go down the list, the next individual there at number 4 is Anthony Yarde, but Yarde, of course, already has apparently a guaranteed shot at Beterbiev with a different sanctioning body, the WBO. So it wouldn't really make sense for him to fight in a final eliminator against anybody if he's already got a guaranteed shot next. So you go down from Yarde, and the next individual is Zurdo Ramirez. But Ramirez is in a similar position, this time with the WBA. He apparently has a guaranteed shot against Dimitri Bivol next. So again, no reason for him to compete in a final eliminator. And then the next person down the list at number 6 is Jean Pascal. So it's Buatsi versus Pascal in an IBF final eliminator, assuming that both these guys choose to go ahead with it. I can see why Pascal would definitely want to go ahead with it, but with Joshua Buatsi, he may choose to go in a different direction. The reason I say this is because Dimitri Bivol is a DAZN fighter. I know Oscar De La Hoya disputes this idea that Bivol is a matchroom fighter, but he's certainly a DAZN fighter. And therefore, a fight against Buatsi would be easier to make from a network standpoint. And perhaps Eddie Hearn, as Joshua Buatsi's promoter, feels as though Bivol might be a better style matchup for Buatsi at this stage. Bivol is a very good boxer, very fast and what have you, but he isn't the devastating puncher that Artur Beterbiev is. And if you've got a fighter who is maybe still slightly on the green side, even though he's in his late 20s, you might rather take a chance as a promoter against somebody who is a good boxer rather than somebody who's a devastating puncher. So we'll see which direction Matchroom and Buatsi choose to go. And of course, if Joshua Buatsi was to fight Bivol, and Bivol is still a Matchroom fighter, then it's a win-win for Eddie Hearn. No matter who wins the fight, Eddie Hearn wins. Anyway, let's look at the fighters here. So Joshua Buatsi is 16-0, 13 KOs, 29 years of age now. His last fight was that UD over Craig Richards. I personally thought it was very close and could have gone either way, to be honest with you. I know a lot of other people disagree, but I thought that was real close, and I wouldn't have grumbled at all if they'd given it to Craig Spider Richards. Prior to that, he fought Bolotniks, and well, I'm sure you guys have followed his career so far as closely as I have. And the opponent, if this IBF final eliminator goes head, is Jean Pascal, who I know you're all familiar with, a veteran light heavyweight. He's fought the likes of Carl Froch back in the days, Adrian Diaconu, of course. He fought Chad Dawson, Bernard Hopkins twice, Lucian Bute, Sergey Kovalev, Yuneski Gonzalez, Alida Alvarez, Dimitri Bivol, Marcus Brown, Badu Jack, and most recently Fang Long Meng, which was, could you call it an upset? Meng was an undefeated fighter at the time, a Chinese fighter, and Pascal managed to turn him over. Pascal has scored quite a few upsets in his career. I didn't actually see the Fang Long Meng fight, I don't think, but Meng is a southpaw, and Pascal has had tremendous success against southpaws in his career. If you look at the Marcus Brown fight back in 2019, he managed to win that against a slick, fast, athletic southpaw. Go back even further to the Lucian Bute fight. Had tremendous success there against the southpaw. Chad Dawson, who was a very fast, athletic southpaw. And again, Jean Pascal had tremendous success, so he always seems to do well against southpaws. Having said that, he's also done well against several orthodox fighters. Couple fights back, he fought Badu Jack. But what I have to mention, of course, is the fact that he failed a PED test after the Badu Jack fight for multiple banned substances. So that kind of throws the Badu Jack win into question, because was he on something during that fight? And if so, how much did it enhance his performance? And without it, would he have even been able to win? These are the questions, the legitimate questions that we can ask. And perhaps even the Marcus Brown fight and several other fights could be called into question because we don't know whether he was clean for those fights. But anyway, he bounced back from the shame, if he feels any shame, of the failed PED test to beat Fan Long Meng earlier on this year and put himself in a position to potentially challenge for the IBF title. Now, Jean Pascal, being based in Canada all his career, has actually sparred a lot with Artur Beterbiev. Perhaps he'll fancy his chances against Beterbiev because of their sparring. Then again, perhaps not. Who knows how those sparring sessions actually went? And of course, they were a long, long time ago, I believe anyway. So even if Pascal did fairly well, and I'm not saying he did, but let's just for a second, do a hypothetical. Let's say he did fairly well in sparring against Beterbiev 3, 4, 5 years ago. Very different situation now, isn't it? Where Beterbiev has improved and come on, and Pascal, even though he's still hanging in and around the light heavyweight top 5, top 10, he's not the fighter he used to be. So, things have changed. Although, saying that, Artur Beterbiev is no spring chicken. Now, as far as a fight against Joshua Buatsi, I think it's a good one for Buatsi because I don't think he's quite ready for a Dmitry Bivol now or an Artur Beterbiev. And fighting someone like a Jean Pascal, who's a tried and tested veteran of the game, former champion, very tough, very tricky, and awkward fighter, I think that would be great experience for Joshua Buatsi, and it would help prepare him for the next level, which is, of course, the elite level, the championship level. If he's able to get past the Jean Pascal and do so convincingly, I think it will stand him in good stead. Now, obviously, it's a risk because Pascal is still turning over people, right? He turned over Marcus Brown, who was previously undefeated. He turned over Fan Long Meng in his last fight, who was previously undefeated. So, yes, it's a risk, but I think it's a worthwhile risk for Joshua Buatsi at this stage. But will Eddie Hearn feel the same? Because at the end of the day, this is not an Eddie Hearn fighter. It's not a matchroom fighter. Jean Pascal, again, as far as I'm aware, is not a DAZN fighter. So do you really want to take a risk against somebody who you have no control over if he beats your guy? These are the questions I'm sure Eddie Hearn is asking himself. Eddie Hearn may prefer to just go straight into the Dmitry Bivol fight. But again, Dmitry Bivol potentially has to fight Zurdo Ramirez next. If what Oscar De La Hoya is saying is true, and he's negotiating right now with Ramirez's people, with Dmitry Bivol's people, if he's really negotiating with Bivol's manager, then, Eddie Hearn's going to have to find a different route for Joshua Buatsi, and maybe that will be the Jean Pascal fight. Now, one thing I have to point out is that Joshua Buatsi, if he goes through with the final eliminator against Pascal, he's not obligated to take, let's say he beats Pascal, he's not obligated to take the IBF route and fight Artur Beterbiev. Although it would look a little strange if you've got a guaranteed shot against Beterbiev, and then instead of taking that, you go and fight, let's say, the winner of Bivol Ramirez in a voluntary situation. Again, it looks a little odd because generally, as a mandatory challenger, you'll get a more generous split than you would as a voluntary challenger to one of these champions. So, but just looking at the WBA rankings, Buatsi is highly ranked with the WBA at number 2. So if Zurdo Ramirez fights Bivol, Buatsi might be next in line anyway, although he may have to fight a final eliminator for that belt, potentially against Callum Smith. Maybe that's the route that Eddie Hearn would prefer to go down, because of course Callum Smith is another Eddie Hearn fighter. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the IBF ordering Joshua Buatsi against Jean Pascal for an IBF final eliminator. Do you think this is a good route for Joshua Buatsi to go down? Or do you think he's better off going down the WBA route and getting a shot at Bivol? Do you think that stylistically Bivol is a bit better for Buatsi? Or maybe you feel like the Beterbiev fight is better for Buatsi? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you're tired of the biased narratives and mass censorship on mainstream platforms, and you want to be part of a community of critical thinkers who love free speech just as much as you do, then come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide variety of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&As, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got an Element group where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. Unlike Discord, it has full end-to-end encryption, is decentralized, and it's 100% censorship free. You can also send voice notes as well as much larger audio and video files than you can on Discord. So come and sign up on Patreon. There's no contract, there's no commitment. You can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. So I'll see you over there. I'm out.